Mr. Rob Simmons, your opening statement.
My name is Rob Simmons, and I am happy to join my colleagues here in an effort to run for the U.S. Senate and bring constructive change to what's going on in Washington, D.C. today. I come to this race as a Vietnam veteran, having served in that country for 20 months. I come to this race as a CIA officer, having served overseas undercover on difficult and dangerous jobs for 10 years. I come to this race with 10 years in the Connecticut General Assembly, 6 years in the Congress, and two years as the business advocate of the state of Connecticut, where I had the opportunity to go around and visit 400 businesses, one business a day, every day, for 22 months. And that's where I learned firsthand where the engine of our economy is. In Connecticut today, 53% of all businesses are 4 or less employees. 73% of all businesses are 9 or less employees, and across the country, 97% of all businesses are 20 or less employees. Let me ask you this. Are there any small businessmen and women in the audience tonight that meet that criteria? Please raise your hands. And how many of you got anything under the stimulus package? Nothing. Nothing. And that's where Washington misses the point, and that's where we have to focus our energy. These are serious times. Unemployment in Connecticut today is reaching 10%. Over 37,000 families are confronted with foreclosure of their homes. And yes, the policies coming out of Washington, D.C. to stimulate the economy are 2/3 focused on government-to-government transfers. That is not going to solve the problem. I've come out with a 5-page plan for small business here in Connecticut to revitalize small business that goes to the issue of a tax holiday. Wouldn't that be nice? Expensing equipment up to $250,000 and making that permanent. Wouldn't that be nice? Investing in R&D so the knowledge corridor from Springfield, Massachusetts to New Haven, Connecticut, and 30 miles out on each side could develop future 21st century businesses that create the quality jobs we really want. These are also serious times because of the security of this nation. With my background in the military and the CIA, I am concerned that a self-recruiting jihadist can get on a plane to Detroit with explosives in his underwear, and the Secretary of Homeland Security says everything worked. Everything worked. Does anyone in the room think everything worked? Those who do not, please raise your hands. Absolutely. You've got to be able to connect the dots. I am outraged that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who killed 3,000 innocent American citizens on 9/11, and who created a crisis with all those families, is now even being considered to come to New York City or New Haven for a trial, a civilian trial, where our taxpayer dollars, up to $500 million, are going to be used to give him a civilian trial. He doesn't deserve a civilian trial. He should not have a civilian trial. He should have a military trial. Neglect 10 seconds for the applause, please. He should have a military tribunal in Gitmo where the taxpayers have built an air-conditioned courtroom. That's where he has to be. Final point. Our most likely opponent in the race this fall is going to be Richard Blumenthal, an attorney referred to Senator Dodd as a model senator. He's Dodd-like. He can't go down there. We don't need another lawyer down there. If you don't like what's coming out of Washington, D.C. today, you've got to change what's going in. All of us present that option.
One of the reasons the Democrats won control of the Congress 5+ years ago was because the Republicans strayed from the Republican philosophy. So our first question tonight to the candidates is, what is the Republican philosophy, or what should that philosophy be?
Republican. And for me, being a Republican, especially this week when we celebrate the birthday of Abraham Lincoln, means freedom. Freedom first and foremost. Freedom, and with freedom, personal responsibility. And one of the fundamental values of freedom and of free people in this country in particular is free enterprise. Free enterprise has brought more progress and quality of life to human beings than any other economic system known to man. Free enterprise gave my grandfather, the poor son of an immigrant, the opportunity to go to work at 14, never finished college, never finished high school or went to college, but to join with his father and create a family business that by the time he was 38 was flourishing, and by the time he died, he owned and operated 5 family businesses. It's entrepreneurship, it's ingenuity, it's hard work, but fundamentally, it's opportunity. Republican values also go to public safety and national defense. National defense is a constitutional requirement. And yet, in doing national defense, we got to be careful that we're not spending too much money or wasting money. As a member of Congress, I was critically involved in the Advanced SEAL Delivery System and terminating a $700 million government program that simply wasn't working out. We talk about taxes. When the government gets in your pocket and takes money out of your pocket, it takes your freedom away. It takes your freedom away, which is why we don't want excessive taxation and too much government spending. When I went to Hartford as a representative representing Stonington and North Stonington, the first vote I cast was against the income tax, against the income tax. And so these are just a few of the values that we have as Republicans that we need to keep in the forefront and take to Washington, D.C.
Thank you, Congressman. Let's talk about health care. The President of the United States is revisiting the issue. He did in his interview on Sunday night before the Super Bowl. And he says he wants to sit down with Republicans and hear their specific ideas on health care reform.
Republicans and presented the Democrat program, which is unacceptable. It's unacceptable because it involves not reform of health care, but government takeover of health care. Not reform, but government takeover. The problem with one of the problems with healthcare in America today is cost. But you don't improve the cost factors by having a government takeover. One of the ways to improve the cost factors is to eliminate defensive medicine, which you can do through tort reform, so the tort process is fair. Associations of small businesses should be able to gather together and compete to reduce the price of health care premiums. Point 3, I get my life insurance, I get my car insurance, and my house insurance for a company in Texas. Why can't we buy health insurance around the country? Is that what your country is all about? So these are some of the issues that need to be put on the table. One final thought. I'm a military guy, 37 years in the U.S. Army, private to colonel in 37 wonderful years, 4 years in Vietnam. And yet when I retired in 2003 and asked for my benefits under the VA system, I was told, I'm sorry, Rob, sorry, Colonel Simmons, you're not qualified, you're a priority 8. In other words, government-run health care like the VA system does not bring everybody in. 6 million to 22 million veterans are covered by VA health care. So when the government gets involved, it gets expensive, it gets rationed, and individuals who served for a long period of time and paid into the system for a long period of time for their whole life end up with a short end of the stick. This country has created some of the most dynamic and progressive and sophisticated health procedures in the world, and we do it because it is a public system with private regulation and partnership. The public-private partnership is what we want in healthcare in America today.
Thank you, Congressman.